Everybody rolls around. I lay on my weekday boots down. I put on my glove rags and paint the town. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, yeah, yeah. 'Cause that's when I party down. Party down. Party hard. Party down.
Welcome back to the Weekend Warriors Show. I once again have a special guest. He's a good friend of mine, a person I've known for over 20 years, Mr. Jeff Sneider. You probably know him. You either love him, you hate him. It goes either way. There's no in middle ground when it comes to Jeff Sneider, except for me. I love the guy. You best know him for the In Sneider. He's written for Variety, The Wrap, Collider. We have a lot of shared trauma from our past, which we won't get into. But also, he does podcasts. He does For Your Consideration with my buddies Scott Mance and Perry Nemiroff. He does that seasonally. Do you do Emmy stuff too, or just Oscars? I can't remember.
We did Emmys last year, but I don't know if it clicked as well. I don't know if our hearts were in it, Ed. So I don't.
Right. Yeah, and then also he does the Hot Mic with John Roca. And the thing he knows Jeff most from is he gets the best scoops. I mean, he's probably, I would say, and I'm biased, but I think he's one of the top 5 entertainment journalists working today. If you move the trades, maybe top 2.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me, though. It's good to be back, Ed.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to have you on here. I always love having friends and people I like and like talking to and on the show. I haven't had as many guests as I like, but the main reason I wanted to talk to you is because you went to CinemaCon. You always go to CinemaCon. I used to go to CinemaCon. I used to love going to CinemaCon. I probably still would if I could afford it. But CinemaCon is interesting because it comes out. It happens in April in Las Vegas, and then a few weeks later, we're in the summer movie season. Supposedly, you can't always tell this year. Really.
I feel like it starts this Friday with the release of Michael. Oddly enough, that kicks off summer movie season.
Oh, you're calling it. You're calling Michael as the kickoff of summer movie season.
I think it's the first. I mean, it's kind of the first blockbuster. I would say. If I know late April isn't exactly the summer, but if this movie comes close to $1 billion, don't you kind of think that's the start of summer?
Wow, that's a big bold. You've seen Michael, right?
I saw it last night. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, it's $1 billion worldwide. I mean, I could see it because he is huge worldwide, and he's less of a like in other countries. He's less of a controversial figure as he is in America. But you never know. Yeah. But I always think of it as May. I always think of it as May as summer. I kind of have a hard time, even though when Avengers.
Well, they did Fast and Furious, right? Was
Furious. They were like early April, and I think I mean I don't know. It's really weird. I'm still very old fashioned. It's May. First weekend of May, and next weekend is Prada. But I want to talk to you about let's talk about cinema. Let's talk about CinemaCon because I haven't gone in a few years now. You've gone if you've kind of I always follow your coverage of CinemaCon.
What coverage this year? I've only done one report. I've been super lazy.
Yeah,
but it's coming. It's all coming.
Yeah, but also on Twitter, also on social media, you see a lot of posts on social media. You see a lot of people who are not at CinemaCon who have some interesting opinions as well. But anyway, so just in general, CinemaCon this year, how was it compared to last year, the year before, pre-COVID, all that?
I mean, I always have a great time at CinemaCon. It's tough to compare the years because really you're just comparing a slate of movies. Like, you see the same faces. It's the same cocktail parties that you want to escape after 10 minutes. I had a good time. Most of the presentations were really good. There was nothing that the Dune footage blew me away. I think that's the stuff that everybody sort of left Vegas talking about. But yeah, none of the presentations just completely flopped. Everybody brought their A game. Even Universal, I thought maybe gave the weakest studio presentation. I plan to elaborate on that. But and they had Nolan and Spielberg, so it was definitely worth it. I would say worth the investment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, as far as obviously everyone was talking about Dune. That's not till December. People talking about Avengers, Doomsday, which also not December. But was there anything specifically in the summer that you saw that it's holy shit, I completely underestimated this. This is probably gonna be much bigger than I expected.
I mean, Evil Dead, which I think the trailer just went up this morning. That's a hardcore trailer from what I saw. And I think that's going to perform pretty well with the genre crowd. There were some trailers that, what was the movie? Oh, God. It was Other Mommy.
Other
which is a
mommy. Okay.
Jessica Chastain movie, right? From I don't know if it's
House.
Blumhouse or Rob Savage, but it's a Universal title. And I'm watching this trailer. I'm like, how does this compare with Evil? How does this compete with Evil Dead Burn? Like, Evil Dead Burn is like hardcore horror movie fan, and Other Mommy feels like lightweight PG-13 fluff.
Hmm.
I think that you need to go to extremes these days to capture an audience, and I think Evil Dead Burn is going to be successful. I mean, we got a look at so much stuff, even stuff into 2027, like Thomas Crown Affair looked terrific. Like
Oh
Michael
wow.
B. Jordan is completely leveled up as a director. It
Sure.
looks like it's something Nolan might have directed.
Really? Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, like I wasn't expecting that either from Thomas Crown Affair, but obviously you can't just like go and make your father's Thomas Crown Affair, right? You have
Mm.
to do something a little bit new. This one has him like swinging, over buildings like he's Batman or something. I mean,
Oh, it's like an action movie. Wow.
it's not quite, but there are clearly some action sequences.
Nice. Is that Amazon MGM? Is that who does
Yeah,
that one? Oh, it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Okay.
Big
Wow.
bet.
Okay. Man, they were really stepping up the game. I feel like
They,
Amazon
they
MGM.
won again. They last year they had the best presentation because of with Project Hail Mary, and I thought
Oh
that this
wow.
year they had the best presentation as well overall. I just wish that they had done something with Bond. Like you got to give us.
Sure.
You can't give me a release date. You can't say 2027, 2028.
Yeah.
You can't give me that. They've had two opportunities now to do that.
Yeah. But a lot of that has to do with Eon though. Eon controls that, so they're kind of like they're aren't they
No,
kind
they
of there at the
don't.
mercy? They don't. Oh,
No,
that's
they
right.
yeah
Oh,
they
Amazon took it over, right?
yeah they bought out broccoli and everything. So like
Oh, okay.
he's still involved. She may be in the room, but Amazon has full creative power and decision making, all that stuff.
Yeah. So another mommy, you said that didn't look very good, even though it has Chastain, or
Yeah, I mean, and I love Jessica Chastain, but it's just
okay.
her eyes go black, and it's like you're not my real mom. I mean, how many
Oh,
times?
really? Okay. Interesting. I mean, it's in the summer, and one of the things that makes Evil Dead Burn is Evil Dead Burn. That's the one's coming out this year.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's really kind of interesting because it's coming out like in this July, where it's like I mean it's like hit after hit. It's like Minions. It has Odyssey. It has Spider-Man. It has all these movies, and then in the middle of Evil Dead, and you have Moana. It opens the same weekend as Moana. Which did they show anything from the Moana one? The
yeah.
Dwayne
I mean, they
Johnson one?
showed us the Moana trailer or whatever. I have no interest in this movie.
Okay, yeah. I mean, did they show Dwayne Johnson as like
Wearing
I'm
wearing the most ridiculous wig I think I've ever seen, short
oh,
of
okay.
the new Han Solo at the Disney park.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's really funny. I don't watch as many trailers as I used to. I kind of just stopped watching trailers online. And so I'll go to the movies like once or twice a week and I'll see whatever's in front of them. Hopefully, obviously the same stuff, but there's a lot of stuff I haven't seen anything of so far. And um but I've seen like bits and pieces of everything. I think at this point I've seen all this stuff. But I mean, it's really for me it's a summer. It's really strange. It seems like I mean, you're considering Michael the start of summer. I'm considering
And you could have
Prada.
could have said it was Super Mario.
Well, that's true, but I don't. I still wait for more towards May because I mean it's 40 degrees here in New York, so I can't think of it
Yeah,
summer.
it ain't exactly summer. So
No, it's
okay,
not
Devil
summer yet.
Wears Prada then next week
Prada.
kicks it off.
Yeah, they had a competing premieres last night because I guess the Michael premiere was in L.A. and last night the Prada premiere was in New York, and I
I wasn't invited to either one.
no I accidentally ran into the Prada premiere because I was going to see a friend's movie at the Lincoln Center Library. She was showing a short film, not realizing that the entire place would be like locked off, security everywhere. You couldn't get anywhere within
Mhm.
5 feet of that place, and it was mod. But yeah, but it still seems like I mean looking at like May, it's not great. I mean, it's not huge movies. June, I mean, it's gonna have
Well,
Grogu, of course.
it's like May has a big Star Wars movie. The problem is that the Star Wars movie, which I think looks totally fine. Like I'm
Yeah,
not a Star Wars guy, so I'm open to Mandalorian being on the big screen. I think it looks like a fun, like self-contained adventure, but that's not going to perform like a traditional Star Wars movie. So that may be why May looks a little weak, right?
I guess so. I guess I mean that is what I look. I think that's the biggest movie of the May, but it's not like it's opening. Like the other movies are opening against it. People aren't afraid of it. Like Paramount opening The Passenger, they're doing a la boosters. It's not like it just gets the whole weekend to itself. But that's kind of like the first like movie that might make over $100 million. I feel that's very four quadrant. I think a lot more women might go see it and kids and than the normal, you know,
It has
40.
fun creatures. It's got Jeremy Allen White as Rhoda the Hutt, and I always liked Return of the Jedi and like the Hutt family.
Okay.
I think that there's again, I think it looks cool, but I get that people are like, well, it's not really Star Wars if it's not the Skywalker saga.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I don't know if that's the case, but yeah, but maybe it's like I guess you hearing that? I'm not hearing that at all. Is that
Oh,
something you're
I've
hearing?
definitely heard that.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I feel like my issues with it is like I have not watched a Disney Plus show, and it is based on a Disney Plus
We don't
show.
need to see the Disney Plus show, right? There's a Mandalorian. It's a guy in a fucking helmet, and he's got
Yeah.
baby. Like, that's all you need to know about the show. It's going to be, its own story.
Yeah.
'Cause
But
that would obviously be a stupid business play if they were like, we're only going to make this giant movie for fans of a
yeah,
show. Like, they have to open it up and make it more accessible.
that's true. But I feel like also Disney Plus is also moving a lot of their like even the Spider-Man movie has Punisher in it from the Netflix shows and from the new Daredevil Born Again, and it's kind of like, well, am I going to go into this and not know anything about this? Like how much are they going to like make these like these characters so you can just see the movie or
Again, I don't think you will have need to have seen the Punisher series or special, whatever the fuck it is, to understand what's going on in Spider-Man. You just know this is the Punisher, right? Like,
that's true.
I, I'm not too worried about audiences being left behind. They dumb this stuff down enough.
That's true, but it hurt the Marvels. I gotta say, the Marvels was hurt pretty badly by bringing introducing all these characters from the shows that people.
The Marvel, like the sequel to Captain Marvel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know that movie was $1 billion movie or whatever, but like that was a bad movie.
Mm.
That's why the Marvels like did that well.
Yeah. I was curious. What do you think about Supergirl? Do you think Supergirl is going to keep James Gunn's role going, or is that going to be like the one which kind of like, okay, maybe it didn't really.
I don't think he's gonna like lose his job, but if Superman grows 600, right?
Yeah.
Supergirl ain't gonna grow 600,
Mm.
right? I mean, what are we looking at? 450, 500, like Fantastic Four kind of numbers. I think they have to be expecting some sort of drop off. I mean, maybe with Momoa's Lobo and some of these additions, it'll perform just as well as Superman. But I would imagine 450, 500, and I don't think it's going to cost James Gunn his job. Let's see how Clayface performs. I think Clayface looks great. I think we're going to get a
Oh wow.
trailer tomorrow morning. And that's like my kind of comic book movie, and it's darker and it's plays into the horror crowd, which is obviously super hot right now. The budget's a lot lower.
Hmm.
So I think you have to judge James not on the giant swings that he's taking, but like some of these little ones. Like should Clayface have gotten the movie? We're about to find out.
Right. Well, Clayface is not going to come out till October, and being an October movie, it might actually do really well because there's the horror aspect to it, as you say.
Yep.
Was there any movie that really surprised you and took you off guard? Like when you did you have a were you skeptical about something that you went to you saw something at CinemaCon, you were like, oh wait, you know what? Maybe I'm not, you know.
I mean, skeptical, I would say about like your mother, your mother, your mother, because that's the worst movie title I think I've ever heard.
That's a
But
movie?
that's a movie. Your mother, your mother, your mother, and it looked great. It's a Mahershala Ali as like an assassin who's also like a single father.
Wow.
But it's more it's like grounded. I thought it looked really, really good. Amazon had a fantastic slate of originals, which is sort of my problem with Universal. I did not care for the originals that it showcased. Amazon had I Play Rocky, which looks fantastic.
Hmm. That's actually
Um,
is that a Sylvester Stallone biopic? Is that what it
that,
is?
that's a, it's a movie about the making of Rocky.
Okay. Oh, cool.
And Anthony Ippolito, who played Al Pacino in The Offer,
Okay.
plays Sylvester Stallone. It's amazing that one young guy could play both Pacino and Stallone, considering how different those two stars are.
Yeah, yeah. Wow,
Um,
interesting. I never saw the offer. I should have seen it and I just never got around to it. And
I like The Offer. Yeah, I thought
yeah.
Miles was really good in that. So that stood out. David Corenswet's trailer for Mr. Irrelevant, the Paramount movie.
Oh, wow.
That was, that's the only trailer that made me like tear up.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you the best one of the best things that we saw was easily like the Beekeeper 2 trailer.
Okay, which is next year, which is next January, right? Yeah.
And yeah, and it's set to Metallica.
Okay.
And it's directed by not Ayer this time, but I think one of Timo. I think it's
Timo, the guy who did Nobody too, right?
yeah, who like, knows his way around an action scene and fucking trailer rips.
Okay. Is Mr. Irrelevant, is that this year or is that when's
Yeah,
that
that's
coming out?
Christmas Day. So like that's really Paramount believing in that movie.
Wait, when's it coming out?
Christmas Day.
Oh, Christmas Day. Okay, but it's still like again outside the summer box office. Like so. Okay, so let's specifically
Like this.
summer. Let's look at summer. What was anything from the summer that you maybe underestimated and thought that it played really well there?
Oh boy.
Oh, that's
What,
not good.
yeah, what are the movies?
Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, I try to think when I went there and I saw the first trailer for Ted, which was showed there. I don't know if you were there that year. They showed the first footage from Ted, which was like an August movie, and that exploded. That did so well that you could kind of tell that
I mean, yeah, I'm looking at the August slate is brutal. I mean, Insidious looked. I'm not going to see Insidious because I don't care about that franchise, but I'll give that trailer credit. It was an effective trailer as far
Mhm.
as these things go. I like they didn't show this at CinemaCon, but we got the Idiots trailer yesterday or a teaser.
Okay.
That looked fun. Like I'd say it was the other way. It was like something like Dog Stars looked kind of dull, and I've heard it's not that good.
Oh, oh, that's
Uh,
too bad. I love Sir Ridley. I mean, Ridley Scott's my favorite director by far. So,
yeah, I think he's lost a step. The one that really disappointed me was One Night Only.
oh,
Do you
what's that?
know what that is?
No, no, I know it's an August movie, but yeah.
Yeah, One Night Only. When this movie was announced, it's right. It's a Will Gluck movie.
Oh,
Callum Turner, Monica Barbaro. It was announced as a sex comedy, right? It's like the purge for sex. There's one night a year where single people get to fuck,
okay, sounds like a good premise.
right? Where premarital sex is legal. And
Got it.
so everybody's scrambling to hook up, to find somebody to sleep with. And this movie is like a rom-com about like people, I don't know, falling in love or something. I was like, where are the laughs? Like
Mm.
romantic comedy, you need laughs. All I'm getting, like, I just thought it was a completely botched premise. This should be an outlandish, outrageous sex comedy, and they turned it into a rom-com. I didn't understand it at all.
And I know Roquet. There's a whole thing with Roquet with their financial issue, and that they were supposed to be there, and they're not there. And they're supposed to have this cliffhanger movie coming out in August. Do you think this is like a dead this company's dead? That we're never going to see any of their other movies.
Pretty much, yeah. I think Cliffhanger will probably find another home. I wouldn't be surprised. It's super expensive, so I don't know like who the hell is gonna buy it or for what. I'd be surprised if Roque could actually afford to put it out.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, like there's already a stink on that company,
Oh
right?
wow.
Like executives are already fleeing. So even if they do put out Cliffhanger, and the other two movies that they had, Charlie Harper and Poetic License, find
Oh
new
right.
homes. Like even if they do get out Cliffhanger, I can't see anybody else selling their movie to Roque after what has been reported.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. What's like
Um,
any other thoughts on CinemaCon? Anything other things that kind of
His
like
scary movie looks, that got some big laughs.
yeah. I think the marketing for that movie has been great. I mean, that poster with the different characters. Have you seen that poster? Is the
Yes,
poster
yes,
just
yes.
has like 16 different characters spoofing horror movie. That looks great. That's great marketing.
I mean, Neon showed a trailer for Leviticus, this horror movie that was at Sundance.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I think I think that'll work. Jackass, I love the Jackass franchise. It may be the best
Yeah.
live action franchise that is active.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm not a fan of those. I haven't seen any of the movies because I'm not a fan. But I literally have avoided them. The question I have is, so they showed you something from Jackass, but I feel like it's 2 months away and I haven't seen nothing. I know nothing about it. So
yes, they did show us stuff from Jackass. Poopies is back. I know that doesn't mean anything to
no,
you.
not at all.
But I just love those guys, and what makes those movies special isn't just like the pranks, it's like the camaraderie and like the brotherhood that we've known these guys for 25, 30 years and seen them do dumb shit. There are a couple movies that weren't mentioned at all, like Jonah Hill's movie Cut Off. That movie's not coming out in July. There's no way that's coming out in July.
Hmm. Wait, he has another movie?
He has another movie, Kristen Wiig, where they play like siblings who get cut off from their wealthy parents.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. So do you think that the reception to his Apple movie is gonna?
I don't think it had anything to do with the reception of the Apple movie. I think it just isn't ready.
Okay,
I
haven't
mean, they
seen.
were just announcing casting and stuff like a few months ago. It
Right.
felt like a very quick turnaround. I was surprised to see it dated for this July, but I'd be shocked if it made that date.
But even the Insidious movie seems like it was just announced like a few months ago. Am I wrong? Was this Insidious movie
Yeah,
just in the
no,
works?
you're right. You're right about that.
Okay.
I don't know, like that stuff. I think you can turn those kind of horror movies around fairly quickly.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Saw franchise, which is another Lee Winnell and James Wan franchise. They literally they were doing them 1 year at one point. Yeah. So, but I want to talk. I want to talk about the skeptics because there were CinemaCon skeptics out there, including I won't mention his name, but a buddy of ours, mutual buddy of ours. They're skeptics. It's like, what's the point of going? What's going on against CinemaCon? Why do they have influencers at CinemaCon? This is like supposed to be for distributors. Why are journalists? I mean, I remember going to CinemaCon where there were not nearly as many outlets there. Not the trades weren't covering it. So I mean, I went there 20 years ago,
It was
and it was just
Show West.
it was I went there when it was Show West, and it was not. And I got some great. That was the other thing. I used to be able to get great interviews. I spoke to George Lucas at Show West. I spoke to Zack Snyder a bunch. I got a lot of great interviews there. Whereas at a certain point, it just became like press lines. You can get like, you can get on a press line. You can get like, that. You couldn't get any one-on-ones. You couldn't, and it became like the point where they had that whole third balcony for press because there was so many people there. And
There's
it's
definitely a lot more influencers,
hmm,
which I guess is just the way the world is going. I don't know what they add really, other than just like blind marketing buzz. Like that tweet that's going around today from Matt Ramos about Michael being the greatest music biopic of all time. You just like,
oh my God.
listen, I got my differences with Soups, but like I can't allow that to stand. That's just like a ridiculous statement from someone who's super ignorant. Um,
I remember that when he used to have a pre-roll at a movie theater. One of the pre-rolls of the movie pre-rolls, he was in it. And it was just like every time he came on screen, I was like, what the hell?
just
I,
a grating personality. It's remarkable to see who takes off in this space
know.
and who does. I mean, I could name a lot of people.
Hey, I can't even get a job after 2 years. And I was like, I don't know what, why that is, but I mean, I'm happy to do my own thing now. I can do whatever I want. So,
Yeah, I think I go there because I love movie trailers, right? Like you're saying, you don't really watch movie trailers until you actually see them in front of a movie. Like
mm,
I watch all the trailers. I love everything. I love the pageantry. I like getting I just like having a better idea of what a slate is. And obviously I'm seeing people. I'm seeing PR people, corp people, executives, publicists, whoever it is. It's also just good because like you, I'm like on the sidelines of our community. I don't go to an office. I don't have coworkers.
mm,
Uh, and so it's good to see everybody actually, and feel like I'm a part of something, rather than just a one-man band with the newsletter. Um, but yeah, like to reference our friend, like I don't know what he was so bent out of shape about. Like what was he complaining at? Was there a specific issue that he had? He just
I
didn't
think
think it was worth
just
the money?
I think it's partially how much it costs. There's no access. You don't get. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I kind of agree with you. I like seeing the slate. Because I do the box office stuff. I do like getting some idea what's coming up and getting some idea because it gives me. Because sometimes I look at a release schedule and I'm seeing these titles. Which is like, what the fuck is that? Why are like I see these all I see these titles and I'm like, I mean, I don't really hear as much about it, but like there, you actually get a really good idea what these companies are trying to do for the next
Yeah,
year.
I
So.
do think like so I stayed at the Flamingo. I'm one of these people who are like I'm not going to get a hotel room until I'm accredited. And so you don't get
Right.
accredited until like a few weeks before, 6 weeks before.
Yeah.
And by that time, the entire CinemaCon block of hotel rooms is taken up, or the discounted ones. So I
Yeah.
called Caesar. I'm like, well, how much would it be to get a room outside the block? They say $2,000 for the week.
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
No,
that's insane,
yeah,
right?
I always stay at the Flamingo. I've never, yeah, I've
So I
always been at
stayed
the
at the
Flamingo.
Flamingo for the first time this year. I checked out 369.
Yeah.
That's
Totally.
nothing. That's $120 a day.
Yeah.
I didn't even pay for parking. They didn't even charge me for parking, which
And
was
you drive there. You drive there too, so it's just like
I did
gas
drive,
money.
right. I didn't
Yeah.
have to pay for flight. So
Right.
I pay for I brought Jamie Williams with me this year. And I always pay for Jamie's meals and everything.
Did he fly to LA and drive up with you, or did he fly meet you
He,
in
no,
Vegas?
he flew in from Boston.
No, but did he fly out to LA to meet you and
No,
you drove?
no,
Oh,
he flew
he flew to
direct
Vegas. I
From
got you. Okay.
Boston because he lives in Boston now.
Right.
And so like, that's an extra expense, but one I'm happy to, carry because Jamie's so helpful throughout the year. And this is like the big thing that he wants to participate in. And so this is like his reward in a way. And I wish I could do more for Jamie. I just can't afford to. But yeah, I think it's just great having somebody to chat with, honestly, about these presentations and what we're seeing. And,
Mm.
are we seeing the same thing? That kind of thing.
Yeah. You should do a podcast about it. It's funny. I've never met Jamie, but I don't know if you know, but I used to be on a podcast with him. I used to be a guest on his podcast, and we used to do like the
Okay.
summer box. We used to do the summer box office contest with him and Phil and Sean from Box Office.
hmm
I
Yeah,
can't
we're
remember.
working on the summer box office piece now.
Okay.
My summer box office last year predictions were terrible. So I'm gonna hopefully adjust my meter this summer. But yeah, I mean, I think there's some cool stuff to look forward to, especially with the Nolan movie right there in July. I think that's gonna be fantastic.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, because like I mean, the Odyssey. I'm kind of. I mean,
I'm with
I don't
you.
know. Like, I don't know if I were Universal. I mean, I mean, hey, he made Oppenheimer work, 300 million domestic. I mean,
Right.
come on. It's like, if you can make that work, I mean, the Odyssey should definitely work, I guess, right? I don't know.
I
We'll
think
see.
so with half the stars in Hollywood,
Oh,
maybe even
true.
more than half.
Yeah.
Disclosure Day, I'm like I have faith in Steven and I want to believe, but I am a little nervous about that because I do get the vibe that people just aren't going to turn up for that one.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Okay. So last question. What's gonna be the number one movie of the summer? Are you going with Spider-Man like I am?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's gonna be, right? It's gonna be hard not. I mean, they don't have to do anything to really. They're coming off of um No Way Home. Was it No Way Home in the last one? Is that the last one?
yeah,
Yeah. They
yeah.
come off No Way Home, which is insanely huge. There's no. I mean, I don't think they even need to promote it anymore. I think they literally
And this
just
is the lead into Avengers in a way. That's how
right.
you kind of think about it. So yeah, I think Spider-Man will be one. Two will probably be. Let's see if you get it, Ed.
Okay, two will be Minions. Yeah, Minions. Yeah. No,
Two will
it's
be.
funny. It's funny. I don't know if you saw Super Mario Galaxy, but that Minions, the Illumination logo, uh, with the Minions like killed. It was like the best thing in the whole movie was that Illumination logo. It's like with the Minions, like okay, that's what we're.
Yeah, I didn't see Super Mario. I mean, Toy Story 5 will probably give it a run for its money.
Okay.
That franchise may be getting a little long in the tooth, although I love it. Loved all of those movies. I obviously grew up on Toy Story, so I can't wait for this fifth installment.
Yeah, I don't think any of them have opened over 150 though. I think the last one was under like a 150 is still. There've been some big, I mean, we're talking about big openers. Do you think we'll have a 200 million opener? I told you it was the last question. This is my last question. Do you think we'll have a 200 million opener this summer?
We got 9 minutes left. You don't have to rush.
Okay.
I don't know what did No Way Home open to.
250.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that
During
this.
COVID, open during 250 just before the Omicron
I
COVID.
still think that I could see this new Spider-Man opening to 200 million.
Interesting. Okay, cool, excellent. Jeff,
What what else is on your mind, Ed?
that's it. That's it. That's all I have in my mind.
It?
That's it. That's it.
All right.
We'll talk about other stuff, so off the record someday. But I love seeing you, man. Love talking to you always. I think whatever I did when we first met, so we kept our relationship going for 20 years. I guess I
I
gotta.
never would have guessed.
Yeah,
But you've been a good friend to me, and I'm glad that you're happy doing your own thing these days. I wish that someone else would give you a chance because you're an absolute workhorse and you're great at what you do.
thank you.
But yeah, it's just a crazy environment out there these days, and fewer roles for veterans like you and I.
Yeah, and I'd love to I'd love to make any kind of money doing this because I make $20 a month doing the show. So
I mean, I'm lucky that the scoops keep people interested.
Yeah.
I hope people, appreciate the analysis and my opinions and stuff like that. But I am realistic, and acknowledge that most people are probably signed up for the scoops and the information. But I have a side gig too. It's not like the Insnider is my only thing. I think everybody kind of needs, unless you have a cushy staff gig with health insurance, everybody kind of needs a side gig these days. But things are going well. Are you watching anything good on TV these days, Ed?
I watched the first 6 episodes of Beef, which was okay. I didn't mind them. They were pretty good. I've only watched the first episode of the new Hacks.
Okay, I finished Hacks the other night.
Yeah, I don't do much television. I really have to watch in pieces. I don't really get much, but anyway, let's give a quick shout out to InSnyder. Is it the InSnyder.com? Is that the official? Okay,
theinsnider.com, baby.
okay, yeah. Go to there, sign up. $10 a month, $100 a year is a great.
9.99, Ed. And it's under 10.
9.99 a month.
That's
9.99 a
marketing.
month. 9.99 a month.
But no,
Just
if you
think
need
of,
a discount, if anybody needs, if any of the Weekend Warrior fan base wants a discount, if you're a first-time subscriber, slide into my DMs, 40% off.
all right, good. You heard that right here. Right
Weekend
here.
Warrior, that's the code. We got to mention the Weekend Warrior.
Yeah. I feel like this is like I'm on one of those morning talk shows now that do these that have turned into no more news. They're just doing these sales every morning.
Right.
But anyway, Jeff, it's great to see you, man. Thanks for doing this, and hopefully we see each other in person sometime. I have no idea when I'm back out in LA, but someday I'm sure. So
Keep you posted. It's good to see you, Ed. Thanks for having me.
likewise, man. Take care. Hope you enjoyed my chat with Jeff Sneider. He was absolutely right about how Lionsgate's musical biopic Michael, directed by Antoine Fuqua and starring Jafar Jackson, Coleman Domingo, and Nia Long, actually kicked off the summer movie season a week earlier than usual by opening so big. I'm recording this on Monday afternoon, so hopefully I'll have all the final actual box office numbers. So again, Michael opened huge, 97.2 million in 3,955 theaters. That was probably about 20 million more than I thought it would make, maybe even more. A lot of people were saying like 80 million. I was kind of dubious, but no, it brought in a ton of business. It critics absolutely trashed it, giving only just 38% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it ended up getting 97% audience scores. There were a pretty big split between the critics and the audience once again. Audiences loved it, critics hated it, but the audience went out because they're the ones who spend the money. And so 97.2 million, almost 100 million. It's definitely one of Lionsgate's bigger recent hits, even bigger than some of the John Wick movies. It's not quite as big as some of the Hunger Games movies, but it's a good thing for Lionsgate because they really need the money, and that's going to help them this year. Michael also got an A- cinema score. It was the only movie that reported to cinema score this weekend. That's really good. I mean, the other biopics have done better, gotten A cinema scores and A pluses, but A- is not bad at all. It could be getting good word of mouth after this. It really depends on what's coming up in the next few weeks. There's a lot of movies coming out. Number 2 is the Super Mario Galaxy movie with 20.6 million, down 44%. It has made 285.9 million so far. It is definitely getting closer to 400 million. It'll definitely reach the 400 million to become the biggest movie of the year so far. It probably won't surpass the gross of the previous movie. It has also made 445.8 million overseas, bringing its global total to 831.7 million total. It probably won't beat the take of 2023's Super Mario Brothers movie, which ended up making 575 million domestic and 1.4 million worldwide. It probably won't even come close. So, still, it's a huge success for Universal and for Illumination Entertainment. Number 3, Project Hail Mary, still holding strong. It actually had a drop of 37%, which is one of the biggest drops it's had so far, with 12.8 million. But it did cross the 300 million mark. So now it's at 305 million domestic, which is so good. It's a good hit for Amazon MGM, and it's still in the top 3. It hasn't left the top 3 since opening a few weeks ago. Number 4 was Lee Cronin's The Mummy, which dropped 59% to 5.5 million. It has made 23.3 million so far. This probably come to be expected. It was not very well received. Not a great cinema score either. 23.3 million. I mean, it could have been worse. It's still in the top 5. Fifth place was A24's The Drama, starring Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, with 2.6 million, down 46%. It has made 44.8 million, which is not huge for A24, but it's not terrible either, considering the tone of the movie. And number 6 was Hoppers, remaining 6th place, 1.9 million, down 37%. It has grossed 164.2 million so far. It's holding on to the top 10 for dear life. Number 7, Yumi and Tuscany, the rom-com from Universal and Will Packer Productions, made 1.5 million this past weekend. That dropped 62%. Pretty big drop. As I said before, it's going to lose a lot of its audience to Michael this weekend, and it did. It has made 17.6 million. Not great. I mean, but hey, it's still in the top 10. It's still making money, I guess. IFC and Shudder's Over Your Dead Body, starring Jason Segel and Samara Weaving, opened in 8th place with 1.4 million in 1,550 theaters. It's not really very good. I mean, it averaged less than $1,000 per theater. This was a Monday mystery movie at the Eagles last week. I think the word of mouth has been pretty good since South by Southwest. It's just people didn't just go see it. It's just there's too many offerings in movie theaters right now, including A24's Mother Mary, which expanded into 1,103 theaters. Did not expand very well. It only made 1.2 million this weekend, averaging 1,136 theaters. So it went up to 9th place. It's only going to have one weekend in the top 10 for sure. Mother Mary starred Anne Hathaway, who's also in the upcoming The Devil Wears Prada 2, as well as Michaela Cole. But still, there's too much competition for genre movies, especially. Nothing's going to do that well when you dump them into over 1,000 theaters without much promotion. So, 8th place, Over Your Dead Body. 9th place, Mother Mary. 10th place, it's something called American Young Boy. I have no idea what the fuck that is. I think it's a documentary. It made 1.2 million in 583 theaters. So it actually did better than some of these other movies that I actually knew about. American Young Boy I knew nothing about, and it did better than movies I knew anything about. So I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I have no idea what it is. David Mackenzie's Fuse opened at 11th place with 1 million in 1,164 theaters. Again, 863 average per theater. It's about the same as Over Your Dead Body. The movie can't average at least 1,000 per theater over the weekend, and it's not doing very well. You have to remember that's 1,000 per theater across 3 days, usually 4 or 5 showings per day. So if you divide 1,000 by 15, that's about how much business these movies made per showing at these theaters. So some of these movies are going to theaters when they probably should have been on VOD or streaming. But hey, what can you do? 12th place was Normal, massive drop, 73%. 695,000 for the weekend. It's made 4.2 million. It's a shame. It's a good movie. Bob Odenkirk, director Ben Wheatley. It just did not connect with audiences. Likewise, 13, I Swear, Sony Classics biopic about John Davidson, the British man who suffered from Tourette syndrome. It was also a Monday mystery movie. It only made 666,000 in 645 theaters. It's just not getting much business, but it did better than Desert Warrior, the historic epic, which made about 488,000 in 1,010 theaters. Again, the average is below 500. So if your average is below 1,000, it's pretty bad. If your average is below 500, then it's really, really bad. And movies that don't average that much, I mean, you look at some of the other movies below, like the Christopher's and X8 from Neon. Those both averaged over $1,000 in, 250, 295 theaters. So they did have big drops from the previous weekend, but in general, there are just way too many movies. There are big movies like Michael, big movies like Devil Wears Prada 2, and then there's all this other crap that's being just dumped to theaters. I mean, I could go on and on about this. I say it every week. I don't even get theater counts for most of these movies. It just seems like the studios just don't really care, or at least don't care enough to really just get out and say, hey, we have a theater opening at 1,000 theaters. Why don't you talk about it? Why don't you write about it? I do. Doesn't seem to matter. Can't be the only one writing about these movies, talking about these movies. People see these movies at Sundance, at South by Southwest, at Toronto, at Cannes, and then they never write about it or talk about them again. So if the movie business is dying, it's because there's just too many movies. There's no real thought process put into when these movies come out. And they're all being put out there. They're all getting money mystery movies. And I'm sorry about this rant, but I get a little sick of this every week. I just kind of go through the same thing every single week, and just nothing improves ever. Yeah, that's it. Next, we'll get to some of the new movies, and hopefully I'll be a lot more positive about the new movies than I was able to be about this past weekend's movies, because it was pretty bad. I will say that the top 10 this weekend made about $146 million, which is very good. It's probably like the third best weekend of the year so far, mainly thanks to Michael. No thanks to this other stuff. We'll see how things go. I mean, we'll see how things go into the summer, because we have some big movies coming up. We also have some dead weekends, and it just goes up and down, up and down, up and down, and it gets a little tiring. But anyway, rant completed. Let's get into this coming weekend's movies. This coming Friday is May 1st. As is customary, that means it's the official start of the summer box office movie season, although it seems somewhat anticlimactic, because once again, there's no big Marvel movie kicking off the summer. As I may have mentioned earlier, the big movie this week is 20th Century and Disney's sequel, The Devil Wears Prada 2. Bringing back most of the original casts, including Meryl Streep as Miranda Priestley, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci, among others. Let's check out that trailer.
Runway. It's not just a magazine. It's a global icon. A winding road that brings us back together again.
Hello?
Well, look what TJ Maxx dragged in.
Sorry. Who is this? Do you know her? Do I know her?
I'm Andy Sachs. Andrea.
She was one of the Emilys.
One of the what?
Anne Hathaway was just 23 years old when The Devil Wears Prada came out, as was Emily Blunt. I have no idea how old Meryl Streep or Stanley Tucci were, but they're all back, and they're all 20 years older, which may or may not matter. The original movie is also 20 years older, but it may have been seen by many more people since it came out in 2006, including many young women who were probably just as interested in the sequel as the original fans. The original movie got a 75% of Rotten Tomatoes and almost the same audience score, but it only received a B cinema score, which is surprising, since you'd expect it to have done so much better if the movie is so beloved. Either way, it opened with $27.5 million in June 2006, but it went on to make $124.7 million domestic and $200 million overseas, making it a big hit. And yet, there hasn't been much discussion about doing a sequel, even as both Hathaway and Blunt's careers took off, and they starred in bigger and bigger movies during that time. Oddly, original author Lauren Weisberger actually wrote into the book in that world with 2013's Revenge Wears Prada, The Devil Returns, but what I've seen and read, that's mostly been ignored so that the filmmakers could do their own thing with the sequel. 2026 is a very busy year for Hathaway, as she's currently appearing in David Lowery's thriller Mother Mary, which A24 expanded nationwide last weekend, but it hasn't done very well. Later this summer, she'll be seen in Christopher Nolan's highly anticipated The Odyssey, having previously been in his outer space movie Interstellar, as well as The Dark Knight Rises. She'll also be in the J.J. Abrams-produced The End of Oak Street and the Colleen Hoover movie Verity. Meanwhile, Emily Blunt appeared in Nolan's last movie, Oppenheimer, and received her first Oscar nomination for the role, but she became better known over the years due to the A Quiet Place movies directed by her husband, John Krasinski. She also has a little sci-fi movie called Disclosure Day coming out this summer, directed by no less than Steven Spielberg. Meanwhile, Hathaway's been in a ton of small indies and streaming movies over the last few years, and you'd have to go back to 2018 for a movie of hers that had any sort of impact at the box office, which was the Ocean's 8 spinoff. That involved a heist that took place at the Met Gala, which is ironic since that's thrown by Anna Wintour from Vogue, who Meryl Streep's Miranda Priestly is based upon. You have to go back even further to 2014 when she starred in Nolan's Interstellar, and 2 years before that with The Dark Knight Rises and Les Miserables, for which Hathaway won an Oscar for the best few years Hathaway had at the box office. She wasn't the main star in any of those movies, but on the other hand, she was one of the main leads in Nancy Meyer's Intern with Robert De Niro, which is set in a similar publishing world as The Devil Wears Prada 2. That opened pretty lightly with $17.7 million and made just under $200 million worldwide, with $75 million of that domestically. By comparison, Emily Blunt has had a much better and more consistent career since the first Prada, with a wide variety of projects, big and small. 2012 was the 5-year engagement with Jason Segel, and Rian Johnson's Looper that same year began an amazing run that included Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, the musical Into the Woods, which co-starred Streep, Sicario, and The Girl on the Train. As I said before, starring in A Quiet Place in 2018 and his 2021 sequel, which got delayed due to COVID, moved Blunt further into the A-list, and she's been in a ton of big movies since then, including Disney's sequel Mary Poppins Returns, which also had Meryl Streep in a small comedic role, Jungle Cruise with The Rock, and The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling. That last one was the May kickoff movie of 2024. Having Prada 2 open the month of May, which is considered the summer box office, is not unusual for her. I'm not going to bore you with all the specific box office for all these different movies I mentioned, mainly because I don't have the numbers page that would help with that. There are a lot of movies that Blunt has been in that grossed over $100 million, though, much more than the number of movies that Hathaway's made in the same period of time. Streep, on the other hand, hasn't really been in a major theatrical release, unless you go back to Greta Gerwig's Little Women in 2019. Before that, she had a huge hit with Mamma Mia in 2008, and his 2018 sequel, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Around that same time, she received her 21st Oscar nomination for Steven Spielberg's The Post, but she had also received 6 other Oscar nominations since being nominated as Miranda Priestly in the original The Devil Wears Prada. Streep has definitely been doing more television and animation voice work in recent years, including 2 movies this very year, as well as doing a few streaming movies. Still, Streep may be the bigger draw for the older women, while Blunt and Hathaway could be the draw for the younger women. It's just as much about the characters as it is about the popular cast returning to play them, as well as returning to this world of fashion and glamour that millions of women across the planet are so fixated upon. Although it's been 20 years since the first movie, it's a pretty big deal that the cast has been reunited. There have been a lot of examples of movies that make comebacks after 3 decades or more. Tom Cruise's Top Gun Maverick and Tim Burton's Beetlejuice, which brought back Michael Keaton, Catherine O'Hara, and Winona Ryder, are good examples of sequels released many decades after their earlier hits that did just as well at the box office. Others didn't fare nearly as well. For example, Ben Stiller's Zoolander 2 opened in 2016 with $13.8 million, and it only made $55 million globally. And that was below how much the original Zoolander made in 2001, and that opened just a few weeks after 9/11. Will Ferrell's Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, came out just 9 years after the popular first movie in 2004, and it grossed $127.4 million after opening with $26.2 million. That was also a smaller opening than the original Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy, although the sequel did make significantly more, both domestically and overseas, ending up with 172.2 million globally. Not that The Devil Wears Prada 2 will follow either of those patterns, but the Sex and the City 2 sequel ended up opening and grossing less in 2010 than the first movie did 2 years earlier. This might have more in common with that than those other movies I mentioned, but I think there's a lot more excitement for these characters returning than having a sequel to a movie that was based on a television show. I'm also not sure that the recent Mean Girls musical remake is a great comparison either, although presumably that brought in some of the fans of the previous movie from 20 years earlier, even if it didn't have the same cast. It was a brand new remake with a whole new younger cast. Early reactions to The Devil Wears Prada 2 have generally been positive so far, but reviews are embargoed until Wednesday afternoon. I'm not really sure what to expect from those reviews, although I saw it Monday morning and I enjoyed it. It seemed like my colleagues enjoyed it. And I'll have a video review very soon. I actually reviewed the original movie. I even covered the junket with 23-year-old Emily Blunt and Anne Hathaway before they broke big. The real question is whether the excitement, mostly among women of varying ages, will translate into a massive box office opening a la Michael last week. I feel like this is generally going to be more targeted towards those women and towards gay men, but ages will range from the upper teens to 40s and 50s because so many people out there are really into fashion, and I'm definitely not one of them. One also has to remember that women don't always rush out to see movies opening weekend like men do, although Michael proved otherwise. So there could be a mix of people, either rushing out to see it right away opening weekend, or those who just wait a week or so. Still, I can see this opening upwards of 70 million. I'm going with a 75 million opening for Devil Wears Prada 2, which would make this a great follow-up to last week's massive Michael biopic to keep the summer movie box office going strong. Offering some interesting counter-programming is a new horror movie from Neon in Damien McCarthy's Hokum, starring Adam Scott. Let's look at the trailer for that, and then I'll talk about it afterwards.
Fado, long ago, deep in the woods, there lived an old Kalyak. A witch.
One of the members of staff is missing.
What do you think happened to her?
Go home.
Well, you still look like your passport picture.
Irish filmmaker Damien McCarthy is releasing his third horror feature, and this is going to be his biggest movie to date, with Neon likely to give it a fairly wide release on Friday into 2,000 or more theaters, catering to the demand for more original horror movies. McCarthy's last movie was called Oddity, and it was released by IFC Films in just 790 theaters in July 2024, where it only made $1.2 million. For this one, he has a better-known star in Adam Scott, who has become quite well known for his role on the Ben Stiller-directed Severance series on Apple TV+, as well as for his recurring role on Parks and Recreation. Scott hasn't had a huge presence in movie theaters, although he had a small role in Osgood Perkins' adaptation of Stephen King's The Monkey last year, so he's clearly a horror fan. He also played a certain Ben Parker in Madam Web a few years back, so he also might not have a very good agent. You really have to go digging to find many other prominent roles Scott has had in major studio releases. The comedy Step Brothers might be his most lasting comedy, but he's done a good deal of independent films and festival fare that has made him a popular actor among a wide range of audiences. Hokum has already scored 97% on Rotten Tomatoes after premiering at the South by Southwest Film Festival in March. One of many genre films premiered there this year, but this really has garnered a lot more buzz among horror fans with a trailer that's really got their curiosity piqued. There's also been the Monday Mystery Movie and a number of chains to help build word of mouth, although we've seen many other movies that have been the Monday Mystery Movie over the last few weeks that have not done very well when they open for real. In fact, I talked about a few of them early in this very episode. Then again, both A24 and Neon have had moderate success with lower budget horror movies. A24's Undertone opened with $9.3 million in 2,570 theaters just a few weeks back and grossed $19.9 million total. There also was YouTuber Markiplier's Iron Lung, which was released completely independently, and it opened with $17.8 million on its way to $40.8 million domestic. I'm not sure Hokum can find that sort of business right off the bat, even with the word of mouth from South by Southwest and the Monday Mystery previews. I do feel like it can open in the 6 to 7 million range or more this weekend, although it's very dependent on how many theaters Neon gets for the movie, because it generally will be fighting for screens with Michael and Prada and other movies. Also acting as semi-counter-programming to Prada is Andy Serkis's animated Animal Farm. Based on George Orwell's dystopian novella, Animal Farm is being released by Angel Studios into an unknown number of theaters, but possibly around 2,000 or more. Anyway, let's look at the trailer for that.
Many seasons ago, we all dreamed that one day animals would be free.
We are going on vacation.
What does that say?
It says, Laughter House.
That sounds awesome. I love to laugh.
It's
A slaughterhouse. We're all gonna die!
Blue sky.
We did it! Animals run the farm! Freedom! Freedom!
I see.
All animals are equal. What could possibly go wrong?
So yeah, Andy Serkis' Animal Farm is a very different movie from what the late author George Orwell was probably intending when he wrote his novella in 1945. It's been refashioned as a kid-friendly PG film while still maintaining some of the ideas, but not really driving home the themes. Andy Serkis is best known for playing Gollum in the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies, to which he'll be returning to soon. But he also made a name for himself as a director with Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle for Netflix, and Venom, Let There Be Carnage. The latter of those grossed $213 million domestically, and then Serkis also appeared as Null in Venom: The Last Dance. Serkis took over the role of Alfred in Matt Reeves' The Batman in 2022. Before that, Andy portrayed the ape Caesar in Reeves' Planet of the Apes movies. So he really has a lot of franchise work under his belt. His Animal Farm movie has been a project long in development, almost 50 years, and it went through many permutations. It was originally meant to be a performance capture movie a la Mowgli, but not being able to get the money needed for that forced Serkis to go into the more traditional CG animation route. Because of Mowgli, Serkis is no stranger to family-friendly animated films, and for this one he's assembled an impressive voice cast that includes Woody Harrelson, Seth Rogen, Gaten Matarazzo from Stranger Things, Laverne Cox, Iman Vellani, aka Miss Marvel, Kieran Culkin, Jim Parsons, Kathleen Turner, Steve Buscemi, and Glenn Close. The voice cast is definitely impressive enough, and I'll have a review for this soon, maybe even accompanying this week's show. Apparently I liked Serkis' movie just slightly more than most other critics, who absolutely have railed it. And it's currently at 31% on Rotten Tomatoes at the time I'm recording this, which is very, very rotten. Not that it'll necessarily matter to kids who will just see it as another Talking Animals movie, but the Big April movie, the Super Mario Galaxy, is still taking up theaters and making money, and this might not seem like much competition against that. Angel Studios have been having some success in the animated field with movies like last year's The King of Kings, which opened with $19.3 million and grossed $60.3 million domestic. And then they also had the holiday film David, which opened even bigger with $22 million and grossed $80 million domestic. Those were faith-based biblical films released over specific holidays, while Animal Farm ultimately is just another talking animal movie. It doesn't seem nearly as strong as things like Pixar's recent Hoppers or even this weekend's Netflix talking animal animated movie Swapped, which I'll have an interview for soon. Because of that, I have a hard time seeing Animal Farm opening with more than 5 or 6 million, which would put it up against Hokum for 4th, or more likely put it in 5th place. Either way, I don't have a lot to say about it. I will save the rest of it for my actual review. There are a couple other genre movies out this weekend, one of them being a new anime from Crunchyroll with a really long title. The title is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, the movie, Tears of the Azure Sea. It's a sequel to a movie that only opened with 1.5 million in January 2023 in 1,473 theaters. It's not great. I really don't know too much about modern day anime or this series to really speak about it intelligently. Also hoping to bring in some business this weekend is a new shark thriller Deep Water directed by Rennie Harlan. He's returned to shark-infested waters going back to 1999's Deep Blue Sea. This will be released by Magenta Light Studios into an unknown number of theaters, and I've already posted my video review of it. It stars Aaron Eckhart and Sir Ben Kingsley, who have not done many major theatrical releases over the last few years, as well as Australian character actor Angus Sampson, who I'm not sure many people will be fans of as much as I am. Either way, I think both those movies will end up towards the bottom end of the top 10 with around 2 million each, maybe a little more. But not having enough, but not knowing the theater counts or the awareness for either, but not knowing the theater counts or how much awareness there is for each movie, I'm not really sure how either can really break out. At least Deep Water played as a mystery movie Monday, as did RZA's One Spoon of Chocolate, which Variance is looking to release in 500 or more theaters this weekend. That could give it a presence in theaters, if not necessarily one in the top 10. Oddly, Greenwich Entertainment has decided to release Cole Webley's Omaha, a 2025 Sundance indie darling starring John Magaro, to a few hundred more theaters this weekend. But that might be an even tougher sell with so many stronger movies in theaters this weekend. That's it for this week. Next week, we have another big sequel in Mortal Kombat 2, as well as another family film and The Sheep Detectives, and also the concert film Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, which she co-directed with James Cameron. Have a great weekend. Go to the movies and hear the Dirt Bombs.
I had such a good time, y'all.